Hello, everyone. Oh, let me get rid of that shared screen. Again, I show my lack of tech common sense. I apologize for that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream and the member appreciation quarterly stream that I have promised all of you for all the support and help that you've given the channel. So I want to thank you all, and I want to thank everyone who's come here. I realize that everything's been a little bit out of sync, but that's kind of what's going on right now. I have a lot of things I'm trying to accomplish. So let me say hello to everyone here in the chat. Hello, Joseph, Aspiring Alchemist, Zeffel, Beto D, Niels Han Dynasty, MR. Did I miss anyone? Frosty.
What's up?
What's up? What's up? Let's see here. Mad Stacker. Matt, I've been thinking about doing some sort of project with you sometime. Let me know if you're interested. I haven't figured out what it is, but I have something in my head brewing. I know something's going on because something smells up there. Check Stacker, Amy Harrell, and did I get everyone? Zardos, and I think Chad, whose last name is longer than this whole country is wide.
Wolf, and oh my God, I split my spleen, right?
Yeah, that's the truth. So welcome to the live stream. This is a pretty simple live stream. It's a member appreciation for those of you who have supported the channel. Right now we are still at 2 members, and oh boy, I got to turn that off. Bear with me. And there it goes. Apologize for that. Bought a kill switch and I forgot to use it. So basically, we're 2 members levels right now. I'm thinking about adding another one, but I want to be able to do some other things. Nope, that wasn't the laundry. That was the refrigerator freezer. So there you go. And as let me just go over the rules to there. To be eligible, you have to be 18. You must be a member at that level for 2 consecutive months. So if you're at level 2 for 2 months, you're eligible. If you're a member of 2 months or more, but you're only at that level for 1 month, you drop down to Tiger Cub eligibility. If you're at Tiger Cub for 2 months, you're eligible for that level. And if you are less than 2 months, you're not eligible at this current time. I do that because people who have been loyal to the channel, I want to let them have the chance to win the items that will be up for grabs. Typically what it is at level 2, that person is eligible for 2 ounces of silver. At level 1, you're eligible for 1 ounce of silver. If you want to upgrade whatever level you want for a poured item, you can subtract off that amount for a poured item of your choosing. And if you choose to, if you don't choose to, it's your choice. No pressure, no hassle. As I said before, this is something I want to do every 3 months to show the members my appreciation. All the winnings must be claimed in 48 hours or they would be forfeit. Send the claim emails to thetigerstacker@gmail.com. If anyone wins something larger than $1 face value, you must reside in the United States or make some sort of arrangements for shipping. See here, did I cover everything? Any winner may upgrade. I already talked about that. I do travel a lot. Do not expect the giveaways. I don't even like that word. It's really more of an appreciation as opposed to a typical giveaway. But don't expect it to be a fast turnaround because of my work life and other things, which I will share with you in the future. If I use any bad language, I will put 10 cents into the curse barrel. Currently, I have filled the curse ball since it was last won. If you use bad language, I ask you to drop a $2 super chat, and then I'll put a silver dime into the curse bell. If I drop an F bomb, I'll put 50 cents into the curse bell. If you drop 50 cents, I ask you to drop a $10 super chat, which then will prompt me to drop a silver $half into the curse bell. Okay. All opinions are allowed. I support the First Amendment, and I ask you to not be rude. Moderators, if you see someone being rude, you have the right to time them out. If they continue, increase the level of rude. If it deserves being expelled from the channel, please bring it to my attention. And there you go. And just for the sake of being very, very clear, the word goldback is not a curse word.
I was just about to say that. That's why I dropped a $10 super chat.
Did you? I was reading that. You might have. Hold on, let me get over to the next screen, and it's thinking.
Goldback is about as bad as the F word is. So I dropped a $10 super chat.
I'll be son
I got to be careful. If I say that again, I'm going to be spending a bunch of money tonight.
I'm trying to bring that comment up, and as of course I'm having trouble with tech again. No, you didn't say that. You said second gold sniping farmer. So I do want to welcome everyone. We can. I don't really have a set agenda other than for everyone. Hey, Michael Stacking. But basically, didn't have really much of an agenda other than for whatever you all want to talk about, and it's all about you today. So that's pretty much where it is. Hey, Kraken, how you doing? Gold Sniping Farmer, welcome, welcome. So if you have anything that you want to cover, we can. I was planning on just doing a couple basic things that we all do as stackers and even numismatists because of how much things cost nowadays. So what do you think about the price of gold and silver going up nowadays? $43 plus an ounce. And it's not the big spikes like what happened in the past, 2011 or during the Hunt Brothers times. This is stepwise. This looks like to me it's going to stay. And with the geopolitical things that are going on and the tariffs and the everything else that's going on, I don't see this having a major pullback. What do you think, Frosty?
Well, I'm going to pull it up because I'm going to challenge your notion that it's not that it's stepwise. Because if you look back during the Hunt Brothers time frame and you only take it by that month, you're going to see a different story.
Let me go back and I'll bring it back up.
So go back to the Hunt Brothers.
Getting there.
Okay.
I don't think it goes back that far. Does it? It's not going back that far.
Go to Kitco.
Okay. Okay, I've never been on this site before. I don't usually use it.
Yeah. So one thing that when we talk about spikes, you want to talk about an actual spike. Look at what happened in the housing crisis in 2000, from about 2003 to 2008, right? You want to get a real true test for stepwise something, but we know this was market manipulation and we know that it was the banking failure, right? So we have a really good basis for understanding that stepwise. Okay. When you look at the Hunt Brothers, it was step, step, boom, and then flat. Okay. So we talk about market manipulation. Okay. Maybe not quite the same. It still stepped. It stepped over the course of a few months. And then you had one very large spike Um, but overall, when you really kind of look at that time frame from January 78 to January 79, yes, you saw an increase, but you saw it over the course of a year. And it wasn't like you came in tomorrow and all of a sudden it was, you know, $45. And so are we seeing a stepwise? Well, show me a 1 year chart from 78 to 79, and let's see how that stepwise actually worked. So I hate using things like that because anytime silver spikes like this, anytime silver goes up and it's gone steady, it usually signifies something. It either signifies manipulation or it signifies a crap economy. And when you go back and you look at the information, it's like, ooh, it's looking eerily similar to 2003 to 2008. And oh, let's take a gamble. What happened between 2018 and 2026? Same general time frame, same general span, same general rise. We've seen a little decrease. Um, what is this reminiscent of? Is anybody seeing the start of a pattern? You guys follow stocks, and you look at what happened in that 78 time frame, and then you look at what happened in that 2011 time frame. Is there anything on the big global scale that you're seeing? And what we're seeing is the start of a head and shoulders pattern. If silver goes up for a little bit longer and then comes down, we're going to come down quite dramatically. We're actually going to come down pretty significantly, and we'll see. We'll see.
It'll be interesting to see. I actually think
Going to
that
see a pullback.
as intelligent you as you are, this time you might be wrong. Would you like to make a little friendly wager?
No, I can't bet on money. It's against the law.
I'm not betting on money. You can name whatever you want. You know,
Um, so what's the forecast? What do you think is going to happen? Give me a
I,
time frame.
as long as the geopolitical things are going on, it's going to stay up. If things chill out and the heat of the global conflict comes down, I think it's going to go back down. Um, and if I'm wrong and you're right, I will spot you and your wife dinner wherever you want to go. Is that
So
is that within your okay this with your employment?
let me address. We'll talk about that. I've got to. We've got to figure out something.
Okay.
I'm very limited um, by uh, the regulations that I have to follow for my work. So
Okay. Just let me know what it is.
Tiger understands what I'm talking about, but I am very regulated. So I want to pull up something really quick. I've pulled up the gold, looking at the gold chart really fast, and for some reason my screen is at like 4,000% view. Mad Stacker, am I suggesting that we sell? I'm not a financial advisor. I don't make suggestions in that regard. But what I am saying is there's a lot of hype about silver going to 50, silver going to 70, silver going to 90, silver going to 100, whatever it is. And the thing that scares me, and I say scares me loosely, but from a financial standpoint, the thing that scares me is silver is too tied to paper silver. Hard silver is too tied to paper silver.
I'll give you that.
And what happens when the price of something becomes absorbent or exorbitant? Sorry, not absorbent. It's Wells. No, if it becomes exorbitant, um, you get the people with the power start to short that paper money. If silver and paper silver are tied together loosely and people start to show it, we're going to see a significant drop. And I think, again, I may be totally wrong. This is why I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not urging anybody to do something. What I want people to do is to watch it carefully, monitor it. Look at the previous patterns. We are uh, there are micro patterns in everything, and if you look at them, you can make assessments that cause you issues, and you can make assessment that help you out. So whatever you guys choose to do is what you guys choose to do. Period. End of story. But I am worried about it being tied to paper, and I'm worried about these investments. What I would suggest, okay, and I'm saying this more for silver than I am for gold. I think gold will see a pullback. However, there's a fundamental, I can't say truth, but there's a fundamental relationship between um, the increase of inflation and the increase of gold. Inflation's not going down. I don't think gold's going to go down.
Give you that.
So I would say definitely buy gold. That would, if it, now I'm not telling you guys to do this, but if I had to say something like, I'm put on the spot, I'm absolutely told I have to say something, I have to choose, what am I going to do? Am I going to buy or am I going to sell gold? I'm buying gold. Now,
Michael, thank you for 17 months of being a member, and Amy, 16 months of being a member. And I fully get that. If I may interject on Mad's question, which we covered not so very long ago on another stream. My goal is to keep stacking when I can and sell when I have no choice. Have no choice is if it pure national or international SHTF happens, and I can then use it to pay off my house and everything else. I'll sell at that point. If I have another thing like sepsis happens to me, that's a personal SHTF, I'll sell. In the meantime, whenever I get a chance to buy, and for me, buying is whenever I have free time from work and a little extra money, I buy. I actually don't have the time to pay attention to spot prices. So I dollar cost average based upon my availability. Zardoz, thank you for the 5 Tiger Stacker gifts, which have gone to David Carlisle, Chad with the long name, SGT Stacking, Steve looking for silver, and Stacking Surfer. So congratulations, everyone, and thank you, Zardoz. And that's my answer, Mad. I'll let Frosty continue at this point.
so go pull up my,
You sent me something? Here we go.
there we go. Okay, so we're looking at Kitco. I almost always go to Kitco because they have some of the best histories, not a sponsor. I just like to go to sites that I find the best information. And so I want you to look at where we're at here. This looks synonymous with the Hunt brothers, right? There we go, 1979, 1980. We're talking about this increase. And if you look at, we zoom in kind of here, between 78 and 79, we see this little kind of uptick. And then at 79, we start to see a pattern. Now, this pattern right through here, and I know it's kind of hidden by the plus. So this little pattern right through here looks very synonymous with what we're seeing right now in price. I think we're going to see a little pullback, and then we're going to see whatever's going to happen, whatever. If it's market manipulation, it's either going to shoot up, and if it's market correction, we're going to see it go down. So whatever happens at this next point, I think we're going to see one little rise. I think we're going to see silver hit maybe 44, maybe 45. And then I think we're going to see silver come back down to 36, 38. I think if it corrects properly, we'll see it get down to 32. But again, I'm looking at, let's look at the numbers. So we see this spike here and we're at 14, we're at 14. We come up here, we see this bump. Now, again, this little rise here, I'll pull up what we're in right now here in just a minute. We look at this little rise here and we see how this goes up. Now, I want you to keep in mind in this when I show you where we're at right now with 2025. So let's go back to 1 year or one year. Sorry. And no, let's go 5 years. Okay. So here we are with 5 years. And now you can't see the exact same thing because you're not seeing that particular chart, but you see pop, pop, and a larger pop. It kind of look familiar, right? It's kind of the same basic premise that you've seen during that time frame. Oh, you know what? You want to see something even more fun? Let's go check out 2008. 2008 was a massive financial crisis in our nation. You want to talk about jump? 2008 was the jump. Boom, 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 boom. Never went down. Rise, 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 rise. Um, we could be seeing something closer to 2008, but we've had some corrections come back down. Even within the last little while, we've seen a little bit of correction in silver. We see it go up, we see it corrected a dollar, we see it go up, we see it correct a dollar. And when you're talking 2, 3, 5% increase, then it's significant. 0.5%, 1%. It's pretty standard movement in a week or a day or whatever. But if you get down here and you start really looking at the patterns, and again, it's easier. The more you go back, the more you start to see. But you see this pattern. You see the spike here. What happened in 2020? COVID.
COVID.
Boom. Lots of people investing, strategies. What's happening? All right. So let's go back here. Let's go back and see this. Doesn't this kind of look familiar here? I mean, look at the patterns. Dunk, 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 dunk. See a little bit of pullback, see a little bit of pullback, and what happens? The thing shoots through the roof. I think we're right here. Right here. This pattern is exactly the freaking same. And the same general patterns, the same general corrections. It's the same freaking pattern. What was happening here? Market manipulation. The industry was crushing. We were having the housing market that was tanking. I think this is more representative of what we're seeing in the world right now. Now, let's back this up a little bit more and click on all. And we see this, boom, we see the spike, we see this spike. Well, this is obviously 2011. This is obviously the housing crisis. This was significantly worse, but we know this was manipulation. We know this was a tweak. We know this was manipulation. Wow. The major freaking financial crisis didn't even touch the manipulation that happened when we know the massive manipulations happened. What do you think's happening now? Is it the economy? I don't think so. I think when silver gets up into that range, we are looking at pure freaking market manipulation. I think silver's too tied to paper. And I think that son of a gun's going to get to a point and then you're seeing the floor drop out. I think when the floor drops out this time, we're not going to go down as far as $20. I think the new floor has come up here around 27, 28. And if we hit that floor, it really depends on what happens. If it bounces, silver will stay steady. And if it drops, it's going to drop to the next floor. And that next floor is around 19 or 20. The patterns are in front of you. Now, give me one thing, just one, that tells me that our financial crisis, show me the one smoking gun.
My concern is the smoking gun that we're having, because during the Hunt brothers, there was no global conflict. During 2008, it was a financial conflict. 2011, same thing. 2020 was maybe kind of a global conflict because of COVID, but I really didn't see that as a huge global issue other than more of an infectious disease pandemic. The
Here,
issue
watch
that
this. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to cut you off real quick. Okay. August. Okay. Global conflict. August of 2008. The Russo-Georgian War. A lot of people don't really understand that this was something that really set our nation on its heels. We were really watching this. This was between South Ossetia and Uzbekistan. I don't know how to say that. I might not even be close to the word that.
Uzbekistan?
Huh?
Uzbekistan?
No, it's like Uzbekia as
Okay.
It's like
I wasn't aware of that.
it's a weird spelling. I can't even, I know it's like AZHBKIZAIA or something like that. It's weird. Anyway, so during that time frame, we had global strategy, we had major concern, but what was happening in the economy? That was real stuff, and we had a massive change in that time frame. And what happened when the global thing happened? That silver price dropped dramatically, dramatically. Yes, we had global conflict in 2008. In fact, this little 7-day war over in Russia and Georgia that actually caused a lot of problems dropped the price of silver by almost $7. So you're wrong. That's not correct. And so when you're looking at these giant spikes within the data, um, there's manipulation. And again, go back here. We'll zoom back out. And I'm looking at something else, so I'm not seeing if you're seeing the whole thing. Um, well, we come down here, we hit all, and again, we look, spike, what happened? Hunt Brothers, spike, what happened? Housing market, global situation. We know this was a play for. We're jumping back up there. I think we're in another situation in which we have market manipulation. And the sad thing about this right now is if it's also tied to the economy and they opt to short it, there's going to be a lot of people who get hurt really, really, really badly financially. And there's going to get some people that are going to be really, really, really wealthy. And so this is, if it's played right and it mirrors what's happening in Hunt, if now that it's tied to paper, remember, I don't want to talk conspiracy theory, but I want you guys to think about what happened when they took the United States off of the gold standard. That was a test. That was a test. Why? Because they wanted to remove all money from precious metals. And if you go back through and you look at the history of the coin acts and you see these, 1854, they decided to say no foreign silver or gold can be utilized as a currency or as money in the United States.
Was that 54 or 53? Because I know 53 they dropped the silver down 6.9%. I was wondering if it was on the same year or not.
I don't know if it's 53 or 54. It might be 53. I know that it was enacted in 54. So they both might be correct. Conspiracy theories are right more than Weatherman. This isn't necessarily a conspiracy theory, Mad. This is when we look at this situation, okay, and again, I'm not a financial expert, but I love history. Okay. And the thing that scares me about where silver's going right now is we are so tied to this that if they short it, we're going to get our ass handed to us while the bankers who short it, the ETF partners who short it, the people who dropped that $1,100 or $1,600. Oh, okay. The thing here is that, I know what you're saying. I didn't mean to call it a conspiracy. If I did, I apologize. But you understand what I'm saying. If you artificially raise that, now let's look at industry. Okay, so we have silver in weapons. We have silver in your cars, the batteries. We have silver in your solar. There's a big demand for industry. There's a push towards clean energy. However, clean energy, if you really look at it, isn't always clean energy because you need the plants to maintain an offset. How do you charge the cars? With your coal plants, right? So there's that whole argument if you want to really get into that. One of the biggest oxymorons when it comes to clean energy is Greenpeace. 100 million tons of diesel fuel to ride around the oceans, spraying reflective paint and stuff on vehicles. that require cleaners in the ocean setting in order to clean it off, and it's like it's the biggest asinine uh, duality that I can ever think of when it comes to that.
Well,
Again, anyway,
I got a question on the green energy because a lot of things have been made mention of, uranium, nuclear, saying it's our best clean energy. You ever hear of 3 Mile Island or Chernobyl? No,
um, well, okay. Is there inherent risk in the nuclear
yeah.
world? Yes. Um, any more than there is in coal?
Not necessarily. Coal's a continuous release into the atmosphere, but we've been living through it for years, and they've found ways to make it a little bit cleaner.
What
Uh,
about mining?
Mining, what about it? We
What
need it
about the
here.
safety in mining? So again, we can go down this path. I am way more towards nuclear energy than I am towards continuing to utilize and burn fossil fuels. Um,
I'm in agreement with that, but I'm just saying, in my mind, there's not really 100% clean energy, even with windmills. They take up a lot of space. They break down. I've heard loads of birds have gotten injured from it. As a previous pilot, private pilot, you have to be aware of it is where they are, so that you stay out of harm's way. Otherwise, you're going to get injured. To me, there's no form of energy that doesn't come without some sort of risk.
um, no, again, everything there is. Matt said something about geothermal. Um, I love geothermal energy. At my old house, I had the VA offered to do some work on my home because of some of the situations I was having with my lungs. And the people that lived there had animals prior to me buying the home. And I had tried to clean them and we had gone through everything, but I was having massive issues. And so they brought an inspector in, they were checking for all sorts of different things. And they were saying that one thing that you can do is in your home, if your floors stay warm, the general temperature of your house will stay better. So they put in a heated floor. It's kind of that's I don't know if it's copper tubing or I can't remember what kind of tubing it is, but anyway, it runs through the floor. They build this lattice work over the top of it, and they put down the wood laminate is what I was putting in this particular house. And my temperature bills or my energy bills um, went up initially because when they were doing that, it took a long time for the floors and everything to get to their normal point. But when it settled, my energy bills fell through the floor. And it wasn't necessarily geothermal energy, but there are ways to do some of the things that actually reduce the amount of energy. It was kind of weird for me because I'm like, wouldn't you be dissipating this into the concrete? Wouldn't that be dissipating into the earth? Um, and to some degree, that was correct, but the house wasn't losing the energy as quickly as it was the other way. And so um, nuclear shouldn't be considered. I don't think nuclear is a fossil fuel, is it?
No, I wouldn't consider it a
Mm.
fossil fuel because, if I remember correctly, with the whole reaction, it changes its atomic structure, um, in which it would do naturally, but it's just kind of accelerated in the plants. A little side note, Daryl, thank you very much for 9 months of being a member at Tiger Cub. Thank you very much. But no, the way I look at it is that it changes, and I'd have to get more into it, refresh my memory about the chemistry of nuclear and the physics of nuclear. But with with fossil fuels, you're actually combusting the whatever you've brought up, whether it be oil or coal or even wood, uh, you're combusting it to something of itself, but just burned. Um, but you still have to worry about the nuclear waste and have it properly contained so that it doesn't cause problems for the rest of us here on the earth.
So I have a question for you, and I have a question. This is for chat. You guys can Google this if you want to. Um, from safety standpoints, any industry, whether it be aviation, whether it be ironworking, whether it be um, underwater basket weaving, it doesn't matter what it is, whatever industry. What do you guys think the safest industry is when you're talking about mishaps, injuries to patients, industries to injuries to the general populace because of situations, um, the fatal injury rates. What do you think the safest place to work, the safest industry is? Madamet says airlines. Airlines had a really good run for a long time. The last year, they've
Mhm.
kind of blew that track record. Um, Steve LaPointe says there are none. There's actually one that is actually OSHA's not rated the highest, and financial is not up there because a lot of people lose their life. MR train conductor, that is not right. A simple Google search will yield this, folks. Um, it's actually the nuclear industry.
Really?
And when you look at the safety across the globe, there are national and international safety programs. No, I fully understand that. I get you guys. When you look at the number of mishaps that happen inside a safety plant, when you look at the numbers of deaths, one of the things that we teach on when we're talking about medical safety, we're talking about processes and stuff like that. We actually send people to certain plants. If we're trying to learn about process improvement, Toyota is one of the best for Lean Six Sigma. When we're talking about customer service and really treating people like they should be treated, we send people to uh, learn and understand um, the Disney way of treating people. Because when you're at Disney or whatever you want, it's basically right there. You don't see a lot of dirt. Now, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes. We're not going to go into the political aspect or the belief aspect or the financial aspect of Disney. But when you talk about the customer service side, you don't get much better than that. Now, when you send people to look at um, high functioning or what do they call that? It's a high functioning level of performance or top level functioning performance. Where do people go? They go to the nuclear industry. They understand things like education, healthcare, finance, information technology, all study and follow nuclear industry general structure. And so when you talk about there's none that's safer, out of all the industries in the world, uh, nuclear is considered the safest. And so when you're talking about clean forms of energy, now, when there's a problem, it's a fairly significant problem. That's true. But just like the airlines in the 1960s, what was your odds of dying in an airplane in the 60s versus what were they in the early 2000s? And so when you're looking at, um, so Middle Matt, I understand your point, but there are there are differences between nuclear power plants and nuclear waste disposal. There are differences between uh, mishaps with people either doing some sort of nuclear-based research versus nuclear power plants. So you have to understand clearly what we're talking about. I'm talking about the nuclear energy industry, the energy industry, which is what Tiger and I were talking about. It's still considered the safest. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't situations and issues with it. There are concerns about aftercare of it. There are concerns about people wanting to have it pass through their state lines. There are major concerns about where you can offload it and where you can dump it. So there are there are subsections of that industry that, just like recycling, all you people that live there, that um, in many states, you guys think they have good recycling programs, and you'd be surprised where that stuff ends up. Um, but when you look at the generalized energy industry, um, they're kind of like what healthcare, what education. Um, you look at information technology, you look at processing stations, um, water treatment stations. They all follow many of the guides and the policies when they do control panels. Where do you think they get those control panels done from? They look at that nuclear energy, and they look at um, how long should a person be on station. uh, a lot of the information that we learned from the NSA and the security at Border Patrol, or the security at the airport, was educational environmental psychology. And that environmental psychology looks at things like ergonomics. It looks at how long can somebody look at a specific thing. It looks at how long can a certain person be in place. What kind of panels are the most conducive to identifying issues and errors? What kind of layout is most conducive to follow things in a logical standpoint? What kind of gauges, either digital or whatever, give the best readout to help you understand? And the people who developed a majority of those are all nuclear energy industry. And so, again, it's a lot of people have to understand, when we're talking about the nuclear energy industry, we're talking about the simple management of the nuclear power station, not the waste disposal and all the other crap that happens with people who are trying to utilize nuclear energy in some other form of fashion, which I'm not an expert on. So, but I do know a lot about this energy industry because I am in process improvement. I am an analyst. My job is to look within healthcare and identify issues and shortfalls and try to find ways to improve measurements. Tiger and I have talked about this a number of times. One of the specific reviews we do is provider level review to find out, is there training or something happening within the certain subset of uh, that physician area, whether it's by medical practice area or whether it's by clinic. Um, and we're able to dig in and dive in and look at those things. Where do you think we got a lot of the reviews from? It all comes from that nuclear energy. Um, Airline industry is something that, again, like I said, for a number of years, they've done really good in. The last year and a half, not so much. We've had lots of airline incidences lately. And
Hmm.
wow, it's kind of ironic that they're all the same basic types of problems. Are these system issues? Are they antiquated system issues? Are they gun decking? In the military, we call this gun decking. In the Navy, which was you're tasked to perform a job and you just say you did it, you never actually did the work. What's going on, right? And there's a lot of investigations by the FAA to dig into those situations and really look at, why are we having all of these instances? Because not only have we had a few military uh, uh, interceptions with civilian airlines, we've had a lot of close calls recently. We've had close calls between both large and small planes. That really close incident here not too long ago were the air traffic control incidents. That we're not going there. I'm not going to get into that. I think Tiger knows where I stand on that point.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, I can say this much about air traffic control. This might be a little bit dated, but maybe not by that much. During the Trump first administration back then, there was a large push by the big airlines and was actually supported by Trump at that time to hand the FAA and the ATC over to private industry. In my personal opinion, the government typically doesn't do very good at maintaining certain things, but air traffic control and ATC, FAA needs to be non-privatized because it's also, the keys to the kingdom. Our skies are the keys to the kingdom.
AKA the Fed.
Exactly. So basically, at that time, there was a huge push, a grassroots push to not have everything privatized because the countries that did privatize, the prices of airline tickets went up because there were no improvements. The delays didn't get better. A lot of other things didn't get better. Price of fuel went up to pay for a lot of other things. And the grassroots movement that happened back then that I was part of, because at that time I was flying a lot, but people like Scully and Harrison Ford and Morgan Freeman and a lot of astronauts and just the general aviation put a huge grassroots movement that fought all the big money that was pushing for privatization. And we actually won and shut it down. But one of the things that they were pushing was that we were running on antiquated World War II radar, which the radar had improved at that time, long since improved since World War II. But they were also using ADS-B, which was a 3 point position. They had satellite, multiple levels of satellites in our atmosphere and in our orbit. You had ground stations, and the airplanes was to have an ADS-B unit in them. At that time, the deadline was 2020. By the time 2020 happened, approximately 40-60% of general aviation had the ADS-B units in their planes. The airlines, less than 5%.
And for those of you who aren't aware of this, Tiger is very stupid in this because Tiger used to own airplanes. Tiger has flown a number of different types and has actually owned planes. So when Tiger talks about the industry and understanding what's going on in this, he has a firsthand knowledge, not only being a pilot, but actually working with the mechanics and getting his plane up to date and actually flying and understanding the regulation and what happens in various states and what has to happen at each location and the antiquated system and what worked in the system and what didn't work in the system. This isn't something he read about. He's actually lived this stuff. So I want to make sure that people understand that when we're talking about these things, Tiger and I talk about things that we understand. We try not to utilize hyperbole. We try not to do too much of the conspiracy thing, and we try to give people understanding based off of our experiences and our research. Now, do we have a little bit of bias towards certain things? Yes, we do. Why? Well, because we're also studiers of history. And so we look at things and we see patterns in things. And, Einstein says only a fool would repeat the thing over and over again, expecting a different change. That is the definition of a moron. That is the definition of an idiot. And so doing the same thing, saying the same thing over and over and over and over again, just reiterates you're not getting a different result. You're a fool for not recognizing that nothing's changing. And so I just want people really to understand when it comes to this whole airline thing. Tiger understands this, right? So and then he became a doctor. So he's a pretty smart guy. He's just technologically slow.
Not that slow anymore.
He's a smart guy. He's just technologically slow. And again, back when he flew planes. Now, it is true that the pterodactyls did have to take bathroom breaks. But
Yeah, but they were much easier to control with the bridle.
oh, yeah, I know. Hey, you know what? Tiger has an abacus. I bet you guys don't know this, and it's like number 4 of like 15 million.
I'll find out where you live.
uh, I just sit at my PO box. I'm there about every 3 or 4 days. No, but again, folks, really, he's extremely smart on this. And so when we're talking about these various industries, um, I just want to give you kind of a basis for that. Oh, my my mom's like, be nice, Frosty. Hey, you taught me to be nice to handicapped kids, so me and Tiger get
Yeah,
along
but
well.
she had a lot of good education for you because she showed you what she did with you, dude.
Hey, you want to hear something really cool? Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have 7 hole-in-ones. I have a hole-in-one on a par 4, and my mom is the one that taught me everything she knows about golf. And despite that, I was still able to learn how to play.
Mama,
She's
you and I can join forces and put him back in his place. Is that okay with you?
So that is a very, 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 very long-standing joke between my mom and me. Um, it
She
was
still claims
somebody
you?
somebody had said something to her, and she looked at them and she goes, "Yep, taught him everything I know." And she said, "And despite that, he still learned." And my is my golf coach. And Coach Perry looked at her and smiled, and he was like, "You got a good mom." And I was like, "I know. I'll introduce you to her when she gets here."
And I agree with you, Gold Maple. The Abacus was the best. You didn't need any batteries. You didn't need to recalibrate it. You didn't need to have some IT person, try to fix it. We need to go back to the basics. And he's silent. Did you push your mute button again? Hello? I bet you he's just sitting there just trying to come up with some sort of smart aleck reply. Oh, he said his mic got unplugged. You don't have to worry about plugging in an abacus. Doesn't need it, just like pen and paper. You don't need it. It don't need to be plugged in. I agree, Tiger. Back to the basics. Thank you, Mama. I appreciate you. MR says he fell asleep.
All right, can you guys hear me now?
No.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I moved my mic, and I'm like, I saw my little thing go donk, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Well, you don't have to plug in an abacus.
But well, you can't speak to an abacus, dude. It's only 9:30. Where Frosty is? Yeah, no joke, Steve. So I had to I had to hurry up and run around and go, where did it go? Which one of these is my plug? So I apologize for that.
Back to mimeograph machines for copies. I love the mimeograph machines. They were awesome.
Hey, Mad, I'm sending you a text message. Check your text. It should be there in a second. But yeah, no, my mom and I, well, actually, my mom and I and my sister have a really good sarcastic wit. Um, love to joke with each other. I was joking with my sister one day, and I was like, "So, has mom ever told you about when you were adopted?" And she was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah. It was about a year and a half after you were." My sister and I are a year and a half apart. So, but yeah, we love to joke with each other, and so I all right, mom, have a good one. Thanks for coming in. Love you bunches.
Thank you, Mom, for coming and visit us. It was fun getting your help putting him back in his place.
Yeah. So lots of fun stuff.
One day I'm going to have to meet that lady.
She's a neat lady. And we talk about single moms and, trying to do both roles of a parent. My mom was really good about saying, I don't know everything that I'm doing, but she always put me in connection with people who were men of God, who had good moral fibers, good solid integrity, always talked positive over me. So even though there were situations in my life that were rough, she always tried to make sure that I was surrounded by people who could grow me and build me. So um, even though she wasn't what some would say a perfect mom, she gave me everything I needed to become a man. And so I thank her all the time for that because it really does. It's hard to be a single parent
It is.
back then. It's really hard to be a single parent now.
It is. I remember the first time I actually came to a really strong realization. I had a little bit of it, but it was a song by Tracy Bird, the country singer. He sung about the single mother and what she went through. Those of you who don't know it, just Google it. Maybe listen to the lyrics. It's really. Uh, I have a lot of respect for parents naturally, the single mothers and the single fathers. You have my respect. You're fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah, it's tough. Parents need both, or kids need both parents. At least representations of both a really solid woman and man of God in their lives. Whether you, uh, whatever your faith is, whatever your stance on that is, you need people with good moral fiber, and you need people um, with a desire to grow. Again, I said this the other day. Steve Harvey said something that I think I'll never forget hearing. And I was kind of taken back because when you think about people, you hear about people dying. I remember my grandfather was kind of my go-to guy. Always asked him questions. Lived with him for a number of years while my mom was um, kind of separating and doing those things from her ex-husband, and just kind of they were moving, and there was just a lot of stuff going on as a kid, and I just ended up moving with my grandparents. And she knew I needed stability, and so did everything she needed to do to make sure I had what I had. And when my grandfather died, it really rocked me hard. But because she had done so much, and my grandparents had done a lot to make sure that I was connected with so many people, I never lost that father figure. I always had people that filled that gap for me. So when I listened to Steve Harvey, he said when my father died, I no longer had anybody to tell me that I am proud of you. I was like, holy crap. Because he was like, there's nobody but a dad that wants you to be better than they are. No other man in the world wants you to be better than them. They want you to grow, they want you to succeed, but they don't want you to be better than them. They want you to prosper. But my boys, my daughter, I want them to be better than me. And so when I heard that, I was like, I don't think I'll ever forget that because it was extremely poignant. And you had to be a single mom for quite some time. It's a hard job, and it's one of those things where if you're putting people in the lives of your kids that can grow them, teach them good moral fiber, hold them accountable for those things, man, it's amazing what we can do with growing people who are respectful and appreciative and really understand more than a single aspect of life. Um, really cool stuff. So anyway, sorry, I got a little bit of sidetracked there. I apologize. I
I
scrolled
understand.
myself.
I'm gonna expand upon that. My dad, he was a fantastic father, and he worked really hard at being a teacher. Wasn't really that good at it, but on the basics, he did a really good job. Teaching me Serbian, no, he wasn't very good at that. And we ran into a new level of a problem. I was in, I believe, eighth grade, junior high school. I was taking algebra, and I couldn't get past a B, and I was having the hardest time. And it turned out it was because the teacher was teaching me the way from the book, what was the current way at that time. My dad, who was trying to help me, was teaching what he learned back when he was in high school. And the two ways weren't really working well together. I, at, on Christmas break, I left to go to my uh, my uncle's house, and I spent a number of days there and read the whole algebra book from page one up to what happened just before the Christmas vacation. After that, I got straight A's to the point where it was kind of in the gray zone, and I ended up getting an A for the whole entire year. But when my dad saw me getting A's, he looked at me and says, "I can't help you anymore. You've grown beyond me." And I felt really bad about that because, I was really bonded emotionally to my dad. But he was actually somewhat proud that I had grown beyond him, even though it was a sad moment for both of us. And he told me he was proud of me, which to me was even more powerful than the words "I love you." So I hear exactly what you're saying, Frosty, and I've lived it. So I just wanted to throw that in there into the mix because those of you who are fathers, whether you're biological or not, my hat's up. My hat goes off to you. My dad was an amazing dad. His cousin married a Ukrainian lady who had three children. And for some reason, they never had one of their own. I don't know why, but that's just where it was. But he raised those three children as if they were his blood, and their children as if they were his blood grandchildren, so forth and so on. So when he died a few years back, the whole entire family told everyone that he was their father or grandfather or great grandfather because he took the role. He owned the role. He lived the role. So I don't care if you all are biologically connected to your children or emotionally connected to your children. Once you take them as your child and you mean it, you are dad. God bless each and every one of you. I'm done.
I'm trying to remember no greater love. What is that?
I remember something.
Greater love has no end to this than to lay down the life of our friend. Um, that can also be stated. No greater love hath someone else who lays down their life for a stranger or someone who's hurting, for someone who's in need. Um, the point there is selflessness and really understanding what that is. It's a very hard thing to do. I'm not very good at it. Thanks, Mad. I remember the verse. I couldn't remember where the hell it was at. Um, but it's one of those things where if you understand the context of that message, not necessarily the verse verbatim, I don't have to take a bullet for you in order to love you. But what that means is a person who's willing to sacrifice necessarily what's good for them for the betterment of others. And there is no greater respect to see whether it be a single mother or a single father, struggling. And never, ever, ever, never just go approach the kids, folks. Talk to the parents first. Get the permission. Even if the kid comes to you and is used to you, talk to the parent. You do not want to cause that kid undue grief. Um, yeah, thanks, Tiger. But if you have the opportunity and you hear one of your brothers say, I don't know what to do with my kid. I need help. I don't know what to do. I've had people that I've worked with go, um, why don't we go camping? Why don't we why don't we get together? Take him to coffee, right? And give me a little bit tidbits of advice. Um, talk to things, ask them things, address things certain ways. And I see things from different endpoints that I wouldn't have seen those before. Now I get to have an interaction with my son. Now I have that interaction with my son, and my son reacts differently to me. Did I do that, or did my buddy help me do that? It really genuinely takes a village. So as a parent, you need to have people that can come alongside you, but there are people who can impact your child through you if you're willing to listen. And it's an amazing thing. So again, I'm apologize. I don't mean to take this into a sad, somber moment, but when I heard Steve Harvey say that, it was just one of those things that I was like, wow, that the level of depth that embodies the grace, the love, the unadulterated sacrifice, the um, just the pure love of I'm proud of you. I, I'm grateful for you. Um, it's one of those things that it's really important. Um, so yeah, it's again, take the verse however you want it, but I've always looked at that one a little bit different than the way it reads. Um, and that is be a servant leader. Be a person who doesn't necessarily need to be in the limelight. Be a person who um, isn't doing things for reward, but is doing things because they're right. Be the person who has integrity and morality, even when they're not the popular thing to do. Be the person who's willing to stand up for truth, knowing it may get you shut down. Um, and understand that when you point out truth, you can do so in a kind, loving manner. It doesn't have to be ignorant. And so there are ways in which to handle those things. But yeah, hey, what's up, Pedro? That's a man who understands
Hey,
what I'm talking
Pietro, how
about.
you doing?
Vote for Pedro embodies that. Um, one of the kindest men I know, gracious and kind, always willing to pour in, looking to grow his kids, looking to grow other people's kids, learning to, hoping to grow and help people with the things that they find passionate. So Pedro is a good brother of mine, and I appreciate you tons.
He's also a good role model to follow after. My few times I've talked with him, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, Pedro's a good dude. Mad Stacker is another one.
Don't tell him
Not,
that.
not to put you in the Pedro's here, got to go. Mad's got jokes. No, but Mad's another person that I've had great discussions with in this community, and you can establish these kinds of friendships. Be careful who you establish them with. Get to know them a little bit before you pour all your secrets out there. Um,
True.
but you can find people that have great relationships and that are people of word, not necessarily people of faith, but people of word and integrity. You guys know this integrity above all else for me. Um, I sometimes struggle with that because I want so much to do what's right, and sometimes what's right is hard.
Well,
And
I know that in the topic of mad, you got me to talk to him because when I first met him, things didn't go quite so good. Don't want to go through the details. You told me lots of things about him and told me that maybe I need to give him a second try. I ended up talking to him for a good long time. The next thing you know, Matt and I have been good friends ever since. So, my thank you not only to Matt for giving me a chance to turn a bad situation into a friendship, but also to you for getting me to, you know, correct my personality, let's say.
Yeah,
Um,
and then there's people like OC, and
oh, there's
you
no help
gotta
for that, man.
yeah, you gotta be careful with that one. That dude's he's a jokester. Thanks, Frosty. You won't leave me alone. No. No, yeah, that's funny. Uh, so aspiring, you're absolutely right. You guys know 949, right?
Uh-huh.
Uh, one thing that I love to do is when somebody says something really good or they say something that instigates a topic, I always point them out. Not because I'm pointing them out to say, "Hey, I'm talking to you," but because I want them to understand that I'm addressing them. And I did that with 949 one time. And he was like, What the hell is going on? Why are you addressing me? I didn't say that. That's not what I was saying. I wasn't implying that." And I was like, No, 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 no. You misunderstand me. And afterwards, after the stream, him and I reached out to each other and we talked. And it was like, Look, I wanted to acknowledge because you brought an extremely good point, but I want to talk about all sides. I never just take one side of a story. I talk about the multiple sides. You got to have yin with the yang. You got to have left versus right. You got to have this whole balancing act if you want to be center. And 949 and I talked for quite a while and we went through and he stated things periodically. But 949 and I are good friends now. So what happened there? We were willing to talk. We were willing to have a discussion. And so it's one of those things where um, a lot of times first impressions are terrible. Um, Somebody reacts to you a certain way because they're trying to monitor or balance a budget sheet, then be careful, right? They may just got hot for that moment. Why don't you give them a second, see if they react that way to you again? If you see that there's a pattern with them reacting that way, then you understand a little bit more. However, if you don't experience that again, remember those things could be situational. We never know what people are going through when we meet online. We hear what they're saying, but we don't necessarily know what baggage they're carrying. I've got a video that I'm going to be dropping next week that is a lesson in this to talk about your stack. And it's going to talk about 3 levels of this, but it's going to have an object lesson to it. I had somebody ask me to put something together specifically for this, so I'm gonna do this. "Hey, what's up, 9 for 9?" "Yeah, I was just telling them about how we first started. Um, you and I got off on the wrong foot real quick because of a misunderstanding. You and I worked it out, talked, and now we're friends. This is what happens when you're adults and you can talk through stuff and you can work through things and understand that stuff happens." Um, but um, what's just I don't know. I guess I don't know what else to say. It's we just need to talk. Oh, I was talking about the short. Yes, I blame Frosty. Exactly. It was my fault. Um, but again, sometimes we have to be clear. But the short, I think you guys are going to like this. It's. I'm going to start doing some visual examples of things. Tiger knows of one of them. I'm going to do. I'm going to pick those up on Monday. Those are the tuning forks that you and I talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Picking them up, and I'm going to start giving people some examples of things and relating them to stacking or collecting and how you need to consider other options when you're looking at certain things and consider other resources and consider listening to people and not what they're saying, but what are they doing? What are they saying in their words and their actions? Do they match? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And are you looking at the person versus the persona? If the persona doesn't match, talk to them one on one and find out if their persona matches that conversation or if what you've seen in other streams matches. Have discussions, do that kind of stuff. Okay, I really need to go. It has nothing to do with Pedro. Pedro's forcing Matt out. See you later, brother. No, I appreciate you for being here, Matt. Great questions. Great, great leads into some good answers. So, yeah, Tiger, I was just about to ask. Michael's like, is your wheel really rigged? Hold on just a second.
Well, you know, the whole story, if you ever watch my my I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk and giggle at the same time. It doesn't work very well. If you look at my playlist, one of my playlists is called Rig Nation. Now, there's no advice or anything or education in stacking. It is solely set up to tease and torment Yankee. And part of the storyline is that Yankee broke my wheel. I couldn't get the thing to work. And I ended up reaching out to our friend, Professor Rigdabordis, who not only analyzed Yankee's rigged wheel and proved it was rigged and how the mechanisms worked, but then he got into my wheel and fixed what Yankee broke and made it a lot harder for him to ever break it again. So take it for what it's worth. Yankee broke my wheel. Professor Rigdabordis fixed it. So if you're going to say it's still rigged, then you're going to have to talk to Professor Rigdabordis. He's the man. He fixed it, and he's helped Rig Nation get ahead in this world. What do you say, Frosty?
I'm trying to dial Professor now, and unfortunately, he doesn't seem to be answering. We'll try and see if we can get him on the line.
That would be awesome. And then you all can ask Professor Rigdabordis directly and have him give you answers. Those of us who are in Rig Nation do understand that Yankee's wheel is
RIGGED.
Even though some of them believe that it's not rigged. And then some of you all can't make up your mind, so we call you a fence sitter. Which, by the way, for the winners for tonight's live stream, if you wish, you can ask for any of the, hey, Space Miner, thank you for coming. But basically, you're welcome to any of the swag that as a winner. Members, even if you haven't won, if there's any swag that you want, just send me a claiming email. I'll be happy to send them to you. And you were so right, Metal Matt. It is so rigged.
What's going on, Space Miner? How you doing?
Hey, Silver Scientist. I had such a good time doing our live stream and video, Space Miner. Maybe if you're okay with it, we can do another one, and maybe even do it as a three-way and have Frosty in on that. We can talk about that later. Let's see here. Vote for Pedro. Yankee and Silver Dragons were gracious enough to host the first WWP benefit for me in 2021. He raised just over $8,000 that night. Now we have raised over $422,000.
This number is unreal.
That is.
Listen to that number again, folks.
$422,000.
Out freaking standing. The team of people who have done the Wounded Warrior thing have just blown it off. But getting the Blue Angels to match some of that has been absolutely astounding. So you guys have crushed it.
Yeah,
Looking forward to Veterans Day coming up soon.
there's some truth with that. Absolutely truth with that. And I think Zephiel might be related or may be an alternate name for nickel stacking. He changes his name all the time because this guy's now talking about gloves. The only person who really spreads rumors about gloves is nickel. So here we will hit 500,000 on the next WWP.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
True. Okay. So we're getting close to an hour and a half.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start running that wheel. Let's get that.
Okay. Well, first of which is, I'm going to refresh the window here. We're at 34 likes. So I'll throw in a silver quarter for the first 25 likes. And if we hit 50 likes, I'll throw in another silver quarter as part of the giveaway. So the first thing I'll do here is tell you all to get in the chat something in there. We'll do the silver quarter. Actually, yeah, let's do that first. So throw something in the chat, and I'll bring up the Tiger wheel. The one that Professor Rigdeboard has fixed for me. Thank you very much.
So I threw 3 things in chat: hoop stones and hay. Oh, hold on. Hello. Well, hi, Frosty. How are you? Hey, Professor, what's going on? How are you, bud? Well, I'm doing all right. I saw that you called, was wanting to check in on you. How you doing? Oh, we're doing all right. Hey, Tiger, do me a favor. Say hi to Rick DeBoer. We actually, the professor has joined us tonight. This is absolutely amazing.
He's so very busy.
We are actually getting ready to run the wheel. Will you do me a favor, Professor? Can you kind of break down what we had to do to make sure that Yankee understood? Oh, you mean that rigged wheel? Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yankees rigged wheel. That's right. But can you tell him, the audience that we have here, why that wheel is not rigged? Well, absolutely, Frost. I'd be happy to do so. So what we've done here is there is an electrical interface that happens when you hit that button. Well, we have taken out the algorithm from that, and we have put in a no distress unilateral equalizer. Now, I know this sounds really strange, but what this does is this goes in here and refuses any electrical signal from coming in and bypassing this. Now, you do understand that we're not using magnets. You can't put magnets in a computer, you see. And so we don't have to worry about utilizing magnets. But what we do really have to do is we have to make sure that we keep that zone that Yankee uses, that zone that it's supposed to be hidden all the other people. Well, actually, that's not. We already talked about that. We already talked about how he utilizes that old stuff. And so anyway, I just want you all to know that Tiger's wheel is in fact not rigged. Now, I can't stay long. It's late, and I got to get back to the university. You remember what university I work at? It's the University of your mama. Y'all take care, folks. Be well, be blessed. See you. Oh, I can't believe he. See you later, bud. Holy smoke! I can't believe he called. I can't believe he called. That is so cool.
Taking a coffee break.
Yeah. He might have been at Starbucks.
Exactly. That's the best way to keep Yankees powers from making you believe his wheel is not rigged. But it was so nice of him to call. Yeah, I'm just worried about how your mom was going to feel about him taking a break from work.
Oh, yeah, it was very nice of him to call back. Like I said, I tried to call a couple times and unfortunately wasn't given an answer, so I'm glad he called back.
Me too. Me too. Let me go ahead and get the participants here. And
Steve Lapointe says he won once on my channel.
who, Professor Rigdebortis?
Steve Lapointe.
Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and bring this.
I actually have a couple of packages I need to get out, and I'm still waiting for people to send me their emails. I have one ready to go. But I need to pull those up so that I can check and see if they're here.
Okay.
Check Stacker, it was so much fun hanging out with you today. 949 just said, I just watched that short you did with Check Stacker. How many takes did you, and how's that finger doing? You know, I was really surprised. My son actually struck it very well. Not me so much. But I've got those and I'm going to talk about them tomorrow morning. So you may want to come check out the stream tomorrow. I will be talking about art on coins. And I figure this will be a fun little segue into doing that. So you still have that 1 ounce gold to send me. I thought I did. Did it melt? Never did see your live today, Frosty or Check Stacker. Yeah, I was Check was at the festival, the Czech festival. There was the he's gonna have to put it in. I can't remember what chapter of the society that they work. It's the historical society, and was there at their request presenting information on Bohemian history and silver and some paper money and some of the other stuff that goes on. Really cool. Recorded him giving his spiel. I'm going to be sending him the information. He's going to be releasing the video, and I've got a couple shorts, and those shorts are going to eventually point to that video. So October, yeah, the Tech Czech Heritage Society, and it was a ton of fun. We went to Prost and had nachos and bratwurst and some just amazing food. So wonderful time. Absolutely loved hanging out. Chick Stacker and his wife are phenomenal people. So
Did he wear that nice hat of his?
Actually, he did. And Tiger, you if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you something.
Okay.
Because I told him that I was going to do something specifically for you. And I'm going to show you this picture.
Okay, that means
after I took it. Can you guys see that picture? Okay, so there's the little die in the background. What's back there in the back?
I'm trying to see. It's a little hard to see with the.
Look above the lion's head. Right there.
His hat?
His hat. When I was taking that picture, I said, will you do me a favor? Will you take off your hat and put it in the back? I'm going to send that to Tiger. So, because I do have another one without it. But yeah, he put it on and we had a great time. Probably spent about, oh man, 2.5, 3 hours together. It was a great time.
Metal Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. Tiger, I have core package for you. I'll ship it this week. I did get the package you sent me. It was 2 pandas. My girl saw them, and now I have one. Isn't that always the case? Girls always win. So this is for the silver quarter. So we'll shuffle this. And since we already passed an hour and a half, let's just, instead of doing last man standing, why don't we just do whoever comes up? So, and when I get around to looking at this wheel again, I might need Professor Rigdebortis. I wonder if there's a control in there for sound volume within the wheel. Otherwise, I got to turn my volume down, my speakers down, so you all don't get blasted. So here we go.
Volume's perfect. MR, congratulations. I'm just kidding. Stacking Surfer. Good, nicely done.
Nicely done. Surfer, send me an email and I'll ship that off to you. And the reason I ask you to do it, because sometimes I get a little squirreled. Wife gives me a lot of honeydews. So there you go. So I'm going to turn the volume back up so I can hear you all. I thought I heard you say it was perfect.
Yeah, it was good. Hey, Tiger, do you know why I never complain about honeydews?
Not a clue. And I think a dad joke's around the corner.
Because I'm a fan of my wife's melons. Anyway, let's go on.
Yeah, I'm a fan of my wife's melons too. Let's see here. All right. So we are going to bring up these names.
I know Stack N, but come on, what would it be without me doing some dumb dad joke?
Hey, Stack N, where's my one and owl?
Bingo.
All right. So the next one will be for the moderators. So those are the moderators.
You notice he has my name spelled wrong.
I was using voice recognition because that screen pops back to the beginning so quickly. So I just read it off with voice recognition. I didn't get all the spelling correctly. For instance, Nick's Coins doesn't have a K in it. So, sorry, but that I try to use low-tech answers for high-tech problems.
Michael Stacking was swearing, so I had to time him out.
What did he say? I've never known Michael say any bad words.
He said it was still rigged.
Okay. Okay. All right. So here are the names of the moderators.
There's a hug for you, Michael.
And turn down the volume. And if the sound is good quality, please put a 1 in the chat. If it's too loud, put a 2 in the chat. So I'm going to shuffle a little bit more. And the winner of a 1 ounce silver for the moderators is
oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, so close. Oh, congrats, long lived.
Congratulations, long live.
Thought you had it, AA.
So did I. And let's now go to level 1, Tiger Cub.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll shuffle these. I didn't see the numbers. Was the numbers good for the sound or not? I was busy with the wheel.
You're good. Yeah. You could turn it up just a hair, but it's good.
Okay. All right. And the winner of the Tiger Cub 1 ounce silver is Congratulations, Michael LeFew. And let's see about getting the third spin, which is level 2 Malayan Tiger.
And you see May there on the bottom being number 1.
uh, and we'll shuffle this up here. And this is for Malayan Tiger, second level. And we'll win 2 ounces of silver. If you want the silver as as it is, that's fine. If you want to upgrade to a port item, that will be subtracted off the price of the port item. Totally up to you, no pressure. So here we go. Whoops. Sorry.
Freaking awesome.
So congratulations, freaking awesome. All winners, please send me a claiming email to thetigerstacker@gmail.com. So, and please do that within the first 48 hours. Please do not expect me to be quick about it. I have to go back to doing some work this week. Then I'll be back. All that type of thing. And like I said, just send me an email to thetigerstacker@gmail.com. So I'm okay with closing the live stream since we've been at it for an hour and 40 minutes. If you all want to stay, let me know. Let me know what topics you want to talk about. Otherwise, I'm totally okay with closing the live stream and letting you all do whatever it is you've got on your agendas. But I want to thank everyone for coming, for spending the time with me, for supporting my channel. I do plan on trying to get more consistent videos out and providing more for all of you. I got some things in the back room that I'm editing and developing. Frosty and I have other projects that we're planning on working on for Stack Collector and not Stack Collector. For those of you who have not subscribed to this guy, go ahead and subscribe to him. One of my moderators, please put Frostbite's link in the chat. And when you do subscribe, please do more than just subscribe, because YouTube might take you back out thinking you're a bot. When you go in, hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification, watch a video, leave a comment, hit the like button. That'll keep you locked in, and YouTube won't think that you're, a bot. Okay, those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel, please feel free to do so. If you wish to be a member, that's great. Would love to have you as a member of the channel. No pressure. If you do, it'd be a pretty nice thing for all of you. Let me do one last thing here before I leave. Okay, it's not working. I wonder why. Trying to release some memberships, but for some reason the computer just doesn't want to cooperate with me. Let's do it one more time. Okay, here we go. Well, by the way, last time I looked, I'm at 30 subscribers shy of 2,000. So if you all haven't subscribed, please do. And feel free to go ahead and become a subscriber. When we break 2,000, I'll have a 2,000 subscriber giveaway party, similar to what we did at the 2 years of content creation. I've given away 5 memberships. Stack Ann has gotten one. Congratulations. Silver Stan, Apita for life, the Broke Stacker, and MLZB. So congratulations to all of you for all that. And just because I really enjoyed doing that, we're going to do it one last time before I get out of here. So let's see who the last 5 members are. Michael McDaniel, Paula Bloom, Sassy Susan, N the Fed, nice name, Angry Warrior Tackle Box. 949, thank you very much for the $5 super chat.
Angry got one?
No, Angry got one, yeah.
Oh, good Lord. Okay. I mean, congrats, Angry.
Maybe if he gets enough memberships, we can get both of these. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the races. He has something he's labeled both of these. Thank you, Chuck, for the compliment. I appreciate you, dude. I still want to do a live stream with you. I still got a whole thing set up for when you want to do it. So contact me. Okay. Pedro, don't you trust Professor Rigdabordis? So anyway, I want to thank you all for coming. Frosty, thank you for spending the time with me. Thank you to all the moderators, the members, the subscribers, and let's do this again in the not so distant future.
Come check out my live stream in the morning.
Yeah, he's not so bad.
We're going to be talking about artistic coins, and you go look at the thumbnail, you'll kind of understand what's going on. So, got a little surprise too from something that happened today, thanks to Check Stacker. So, you guys want to come check that out?
Check out Check.
Check out Check, but come check out the stream tomorrow, and you'll see what Check gave me for you to check out.
Okay. Now, there is one thing about artistic coins I'm waiting for the future. It's when Bifrost is starting to make things for coins. I expect her to go down that road too.
We've already talked about that. She's already going to talk about submitting something to the U.S. Mint.
No way. That's going to be so
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah. So we're going to, there's a lot that has to go into that. You have to find contests and stuff. But trying to get her plugged in through her college to get information, kind of find out what needs to happen, not only for her, but for an entire class. And that's something that I suggested, showed them some of the things that they do. There's other mints that do this as well. So that's absolutely something that we're talking about trying to get her to do. So,
oh, that's awesome.
I would absolutely love if my daughter's artwork ever appeared on a US coin. I'd probably go broke.
Then you'd be the new broke stacker?
Oh, something like that. I won't take his place, but no, it's pretty cool.
That happens. The Proud Papa is going to do lots of videos on the artwork from Bifrost.
Oh, it won't be the artwork. That'll be the ownership of the United States Mint, but it'll be talking about the stories. I will have plenty of exclusives.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
But no, she's really talented, and I've urged her to try to think about doing something like this that you could really, there's a lot of non-recognition recognition in something like that, it'd be pretty cool. So hopefully she takes it seriously and looks at doing it. So, yeah, but it's totally up to her, but we have talked about it, seriously talked about it.
I can't wait to see what happens. It'll be a great story to watch it unfold.
So
anyway,
you guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Tiger, thanks for having me up. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you coming.
Hopefully I can see you guys in the morning.
Okay. So here we go for the outro. Please stay. I love this outro. Brother-in-law and I worked really hard at it. So good night, everyone.
Join the stream. Gold and silver lovers chasing precious dreams. Collectors, stackers, gather round. History in your hand. All and timeless treasures from every distant land. And we are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine, gold and silver, yours and mine. Coins and relics, tales untold, whispers from the past. Legends live in ancient gold, memories that last. Through the ages we unite, shining side by side. Silver gleams and golden nights, a never-ending pride. We are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine, gold and silver, yours and mine. Coins and relics, tales untold, whispers from the past. Legends live in ancient gold, memories that last. Through the ages we unite, shining side by side. Silver gleams and gold ignites, a never-ending pride. We are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine, gold and silver, yours and mine. We are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine, gold and silver, yours and mine. Gold and silver, yours and mine. Coins and relics, tales untold, whispers from the past. Legends live in ancient gold, memories that last. Through the ages we unite, shining side by side. Silver gleams and gold ignites, a never-ending pride. We are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine, gold and silver, yours and mine. Through the ages we unite, shining side by side. Silver gleams and gold ignites, a never-ending pride. A never-ending pride. We are many, we are strong. In this journey we belong. From the past the stories shine, gold and silver, yours and mine. Gold and silver, yours and mine. Through the gleams and gold ignites, a never-ending